Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, I was at the Terence Crawford fight this week. Shout out to everybody in New York who made that special trip for me. Shout out to Terence Crawford putting on a great performance and getting the W, and shout out to Hank Lundy for coming out to win. I enjoyed the fight. But Terence was a 28-0, 20 knockouts with the stoppage in the fifth round of Hank Lundy. And then Bob Arum, his promoter of Top Rank, he comes out and he says that, there's big plans of Crawford in the future. Now, I did an interview with Crawford. I'll probably leave it somewhere here in the annotation so you guys can watch it if you haven't seen it already. I asked Bob Arum about a potential postal fight. I actually told him, I said, fans are tired of guys going to different weight classes and picking up easy titles. That people don't want that. So when are we going to get this postal fight? And Arum looked at me and he told me, that they're talking to the networks and they're talking to the networks and that Terrence and Postal's teams both seem to want the fight, but and then he also said that might be Terrence's next opponent. Maybe he said maybe. So I'm not really that wasn't too encouraging of an answer, but it's an answer nonetheless. So we've heard rumors of that. We've heard rumors of Ruslan Provodnikov, which I feel that would be an exciting fight just because of the Ruslan style. I think Terrence wins obviously, but Ruslan's style would make that an interesting fight. But another interesting fight that I know a lot of people want to see in the sport of boxing, at 140 for Terence Crawford, comes in the form of a guy, Adrien Broner, who will be fighting April 1st in Washington, D.C. versus Ashley Theophane. Shout out to my boy DC Mike TV. Go subscribe to him at MJ Boxing. He's from D.C. But anyway, Terence Crawford, man. Terence Crawford. He's got to start getting a match tough from here on out. The last two guys he fought were lightweights that moved up to 140, not full-fledged 140 pounders. So I want to see him fight some full-fledged 140 pounders. And Ruslan will be a good test for him. I think, if not Ruslan, then Postal. But then Adrien Broner, Bob Arum, Top Rank promoter, said that he would love to match Terence Crawford up with Adrien Broner, who holds the WBA, I should say, the WBA junior welterweight title. So that would be a unification fight. We saw this week, and I was there for it, so I can tell you a little bit about it. We saw this week at the press conferences that what Hank Lundy and his trash talking was able to bring out of Terence Crawford. I mean, Adrien Broner talks some mad trash, and he'd bring, from a promotional standpoint, I think he'd be able to bring out an interesting side of Terence Crawford. And stylistically speaking, that fight would be interesting because Adrien Broner, has some power, man. He can fight. He can fight when he's not being an idiot and he's letting his hands go. Kind of like look at his last fight against Alak Verdiev. He looked very good, even though it was against a guy who had a lot of ring rust. But that's besides the point. The fact of the matter is, Adrien Broner has some tools to beat Terence Crawford, and that's what makes this an interesting fight. So I'm gonna get into what Bob Arum said about that fight potentially happening, and I'll get into his quotes after that. He said, I quote, "Oh, I would love Broner. That's a good fight. I would do that fight in 2 seconds. I think that would be a major fight. We'd certainly sell out the Forum in Inglewood, California." Then he goes on talking about other matchups, saying that we're going to match Crawford as tough as we can, and one of the guys who's a possibility is Ruslan Provodnikov, and we'll see if he takes the fight, and we'll go from there. Now, let's start with Broner. Adrien Broner, we know that this fight's going to happen because we've seen it. These guys in boxing are starting to work more with each other. We saw Top Rank work with Golden Boy when they made Postal versus Matisse. We were seeing Al Heyman and Golden Boy work together now with Khan and Canelo. So can Al Heyman and Bob Arum put their differences aside for the greater good of boxing and the fans, and maybe even their pockets, because this would be I think if they market this the right way, they could really make some money off this fight. I'm not saying pay-per-view, but I'm saying good ratings. I think it definitely does good ratings. At least 1 million. If you put on like HBO or something like that. Regular HBO though, not pay-per-view or premium, just regular HBO that everybody can get with the cable package. I think they would do good numbers. Crawford, Broner, man, that's a great fight, man. I think that we need clarity in a lot of these divisions. We need the pecking order to be more we need everything to even be more clear on who is the best and who isn't. And I think, Broner being a guy who's never lost at 140, if Crawford beats Broner, but Broner at 147, not really much of a threat to anybody. But Broner at 140, a damn good fighter with a lot of talent who's never been beaten. So I want to see him fight Crawford. I don't want to see Broner with any more. Like same thing I say for Crawford, same goes for Broner. Broner, a talented fighter, a guy who has all the potential in the world to do stuff, but due to his own attitude, his own lack of discipline, it just hasn't worked out for him. And at 140, there's some big fights for him, and I know that Broner wants to make some money. He can make some money and be a great fighter fighting Terence Crawford. So I want to see that fight for Terence. I think that's the type of fight that could get Terence that more recognition that he deserves. And it'd be another good step for boxing, because we've seen Golden Boy and Al Heyman work together. Al Heyman and Top Rank. That's the next thing that needs to happen. So hopefully it happens. Fingers crossed, of course. But let me know what you guys think. Terence Crawford saying that he wants to match Terence Crawford versus Adrien Broner. What do you think about that fight? And then potentially Terence versus Ruslan Provodnikov. Which one of those two fights would you want to see more? And would Terence Crawford be able to win both of those fights? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.